The movie opens with the vibrant atmosphere of a grand public festival, filled with bright lights, cheering crowds, and music echoing through the streets. Among the celebrating masses, we see a woman making her way carefully through the crowd. Her name is Noelle, played by Priyanka Chopra. She appears calm, but her eyes are sharp and observant. This isn't just a casual stroll, she's here on a mission. The festival is known as La Stematino, a cultural celebration attracting thousands. But beneath the cheerful surface, something far more dangerous is about to unfold. We soon learn that Noelle is actually an undercover operative working for MI6, the British Secret Intelligence Service. And she's not alone. Agents from the CIA are also embedded in the area. Their target, a notorious international arms dealer named Victor. Victor is infamous in the underworld, ruthless, resourceful, and always one step ahead of law enforcement. He deals in high-grade weaponry, supplying dangerous clients all over the globe. Today, intelligence suggests he will be here. Sure enough, the team spots him moving through the crowd. Noelle signals her fellow agents, and they quietly start closing in. But then something strange happens. Another man appears in the crowd. He looks exactly like Victor. The agents hesitate, unsure which one is real. And then, to their surprise, a third man with the same appearance emerges from another direction. This is no coincidence, it's a decoy operation. Victor has planted multiple doubles to confuse any attempt to capture him. Noelle speaks urgently into her comms. Whoever they are, catch all of them. Don't take any chances that I in the midst of the crowd. A white delivery van slowly pushes through. Noelle instantly senses something's wrong. Why would a van enter this tightly packed festival? Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a secondary MI6 surveillance team monitors everything through CCTV feeds. They track the suspicious van closely. Suddenly, a second van pulls up, and armed men burst out, firing at the CIA and MI6 operatives. Chaos erupts. Civilians scream and scatter as bullets fly in every direction. The agents take cover, returning fire, but the attackers are heavily armed and well prepared. A brutal firefight ensues, with bodies dropping on both sides. Eventually, the gunmen overpower the agents guarding the MI6 surveillance van. They storm inside, quickly inserting drives into the system and downloading massive amounts of classified NATO intelligence data. Noelle spots them and races forward to intercept, but before she can reach them, bang! A bullet strikes her in the chest. She collapses to the ground as the attackers escape in the van, leaving the area littered with shell casings and blood. Whether Noelle is alive or dead is unclear for now. The scene shifts to the residence of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, a man named Sam. Sam wakes up groggily, turns on the television, and catches a news broadcast about Will, the President of the United States. The anchor mentions Will's unusual career path. Once a Hollywood comedy actor, he's now the leader of the free world. He still has a talent for making people laugh, but today he is preparing for a critical diplomatic meeting with Sam. The two leaders are set to sign several important agreements between their nations. However, Will receives troubling news. The joint MI6 CIA operation in Spain, the very mission to capture Victor, has failed. The agents have been wiped out. This doesn't dampen Will's upbeat personality, though. He still carries himself with the same charm and humor that made him a public favorite. He lives with his wife and children, and works closely with his sharp personal assistant, Bradshaw. Before heading to meet Sam, Will is advised to be on his best behavior. Their last encounter ended in a heated argument, and both sides want to avoid another diplomatic spat. Will assures them he'll keep things professional this time. When the two leaders meet, their contrasting personalities are obvious. Will is casual, witty, and quick with jokes. Sam is serious, strategic, and focused on protocol. They agree, at least in front of the cameras, that they will not discuss the failed mission in Spain and instead divert attention to other matters. During their joint press conference, journalists ask lighthearted questions about Will's film career and more pointed political questions to Sam. But then one reporter directly asks about the Spain mission. Both men freeze for a moment. Will reluctantly admits. The mission was unsuccessful. Sam, however, tries to reframe it, not unsuccessful. We are still pursuing the perpetrators. This difference in approach sparks tension between them. Once off stage, they argue behind closed doors. Sam accuses Will of being nothing more than a movie actor, with no real diplomatic skill. Will fires back, reminding Sam that charisma and connection with people are as important as policy. The verbal jabs keep escalating until their assistants step in, urging them to stop before damaging the image of their nations. To cool things down, they're advised to take part in a symbolic joint trip on Air Force One, posing for photos, sharing tea, and appearing united in the public eye. Reluctantly, they agree. Soon, both leaders are aboard the massive, heavily armed U.S. presidential aircraft. Meanwhile, far away in France, Victor is furious. He scolds one of his snipers for failing to eliminate all the operatives in Spain, revealing that Noel survived the attack. The night air was thick with tension as the convoy pushed deeper into the countryside. Every tree, every shadow felt like it could be hiding an enemy. Cena's eyes scanned constantly, his instincts on high alert. Idris kept glancing at the tablet in his lap, tracking their route via an encrypted GPS feed. Suddenly, without warning, the lead SUV screeched to a halt. Cena reacted instantly, hand to his weapon. The driver's voice crackled over the comms. Roads blocked. We've got debris up ahead. Debris meant trouble. Cena and Idris both knew it. They exited their vehicle, moving forward cautiously. The headlights illuminated a crude barricade, overturned barrels, metal sheets, and shattered glass. That's when the first gunshot rang out. It came from the tree line to their right. One of their escort agents dropped instantly, a spray of blood marking his fall. Cena and Idris dove for cover as chaos erupted. Automatic gunfire lit up the night, tracer rounds slicing through the darkness. Cena barked orders, directing the agents to return fire and flank left. Idris slid behind an abandoned tractor, peeking through the scope of a fallen agent's rifle. He picked off a gunman perched in the trees, then another crouched behind the barricade. But their attackers were disciplined, not random thugs. These were trained professionals. Explosions ripped through the convoy. One SUV went up in flames, sending a shockwave through the field. Cena knew they couldn't win a drawn-out firefight here. They had to move. He shouted to Idris, "We cut through the forest, now." They sprinted into the woods, the sound of gunfire chasing them. The ground was uneven, branches clawed at their clothes, but adrenaline drove them forward. Behind them, the attackers pursued, their footsteps pounding in the darkness. After what felt like miles, they stumbled into a clearing, and directly into another ambush. A tall man stepped forward, his face hidden under a hood. His voice was calm, almost mocking. "You've run far enough." Cena recognized him instantly, Marcus Kane, former intelligence officer, presumed dead years ago. Kane had been a ghost story in the agency, a man who vanished with classified intel and resurfaced only to orchestrate global crises. Kane smiled thinly. "The people you work for, they're not who you think they are. You've been protecting the wrong enemy." Idris, breathing hard, snapped back. "Save your speeches. You're going to prison." But Kane didn't flinch. He tossed a small black case at their feet. Cena instinctively picked it up, opening it. Inside were photos, documents, and data drives. Images of high-ranking officials in clandestine meetings, shipments of weapons disguised as aid, and financial transfers to terrorist networks. Idris's eyes widened. This can't be real." Kane's tone turned cold. "It's very real. And if you keep doing their bidding, you'll end up just like me, hunted by the world you swore to protect." Before Cena could respond, the sound of approaching helicopters filled the night. Searchlights cut through the trees. Kane backed away, fading into the shadows. Moments later, a tactical team swarmed the clearing. Their leader barked at Cena and Idris to drop their weapons. Confused and unwilling to escalate, they complied. But instead of being debriefed, they were restrained and shoved into separate transport vehicles. Inside the helicopter, Cena realized the horrifying truth. Someone high up had flipped the narrative. In official records, they were now the rogue agents. The mission logs, the firefight, even the convoy attack, all erased, replaced with fabricated intel framing them for treason. Idris managed to whisper across the cabin, "We've been set up." Kane wasn't lying. The helicopter banked hard, heading toward an undisclosed black site. Cena's mind raced. They needed a plan, and fast. In the holding facility, the walls were bare concrete, the air stale. Cena and Idris were thrown into separate cells, monitored by silent guards. Hours passed. Then late into the night, the power flickered. Sirens wailed. An explosion shook the ground, and smoke began pouring through the vents. The cell door swung open. Standing there was Kane, flanked by two masked operatives. "You want the truth?" Kane said. "Come with me. But once you do, there's no going back." Cena hesitated only for a second before stepping out. Idris followed. As they moved through the burning corridors, gunfire echoed around them. Kane's team was efficient, cutting down guards with precision. They emerged into the open night, climbing into an unmarked truck. Kane handed Cena a data drive. This is the full picture. Names, dates, operations. It's enough to burn the whole system down. But they'll kill everyone you care about to get it back. As the truck roared into the darkness, Cena stared out the window, his mind torn between duty and the new reality he had just seen. Idris finally spoke. So what now? Cena's grip tightened on the drive. Now we find out just how deep this goes. The camera pulled back, showing the truck disappearing into the night, the world oblivious to the storm that was about to break.